All right, guys. Okay, thank you very much for attending basically our sessions. Okay, good night. All right, thank you very much also okay for giving me basically okay, some what we call that some room basically okay to make basically this kind of session directly to what we call the conduct the session okay because I saw some of you guys okay, who actually have been a message to me and also some of you guys also direct go through my consultation directly these days and these 2 days. I had a few number kind of what we call that questions, inquiries that based on this task, right? That based on the assignment three, and of course, okay, based on the samples that I made for you guys for these 2 days, okay, it basically is a guideline for you guys to develop basically your kind of character. How we're going to start with the characters, right? And of course, okay, all these kind of ideations, all these kind of methods, all these kind of techniques and the sample demonstration that I made, it looked easy peasy for me though, okay, but it's not that quite easy, okay, for most of you guys. Okay? I understand that, right? That's why, okay, these sessions I will make basically, right, okay, exclusive for you guys to look back again, or maybe I can actually add more values from those demonstrations that I made, okay, what we call that short time, okay, short while ago. All right. So if you look back again, all these kind of demonstrations, let me recap a little bit more further from you. Okay. You guys can see my screen sharing, right? Everyone can see that, right? Okay. Okay, good. Let me go through a little bit here. Okay. Right. So if you go through back again, okay, all the ideation that I made from here. This is basically one of the process that you guys can work in a very short time there in order for you guys to develop your ideas there. Okay, first of all, before you're going to start anything directly, before you're going to start to design a character directly, you have to understand first about the content. I believe most of you guys, I saw basically within these 2 days, some of the students start to discuss about these ideas there. I really felt very kind of heartwarming directly and also feel a bit more exciting okay, when the students start to discuss about the ideations to develop the content itself okay, based on those titles that have been given. So that means there's a lot of positive interest you guys put on it, okay? But of course, okay, from all this kind of information, visually or from the contextually that I think you guys are gonna be working on, the right? It doesn't mean that when it comes to transfer your ideas into the visual kind of documentation or visual kind of what we call interpretations, especially when it's cash flow, right? Going to be quite easy for you guys to work because it all depends on those skills that you have and experience that you have at the same time. What I want you guys to have right now, okay, because most people they thought basically they can imagine well, and some of you guys I saw that okay, they started to draw something from scratch without any references. Of course, you can start with your comfort way to develop your kind of design, but the point is right now, okay, the challenging that you guys face normally when you start to develop your kind of design without any references or without any kind of guideline, what I actually have been go through with you guys for our third exercise there, okay, which is we doing the gesture drawing there, right? When you start to draw something without references or draw side by side from the references, you start to begin to get a lot of difficulties when it comes to develop your drawing strokes or to develop basically to sketch something from there. And the ideas that you want to go through with it were not going to come out okay, spontaneously or effectively from there. So what you can do basically, okay, this is basically the training for our brain, okay, for our mind itself to develop our creative process. Before you're going to start to work or before you're going to sketch anything, okay, make sure you have enough information. Okay, enough information visually when it comes to develop your to get your references, okay? To define your references or to analyze your references at the same time. Okay, so what I actually going to suggest, if you guys can, because references that doesn't have any kind of amount of references, right? They don't have those numbers there. All right. For me, okay, from my experience, if you can get more than enough that you need there, okay, they will give a bit more advantage for you guys in the future. Not only for the staff there, okay, because visual can we call it documentation or visual references. When you actually try to adapt or you want to get more informations, you can learn a lot of things by looking or observing your references, okay, in a correct way. For example, you start to analyze all the details that you can get from the element that you chose there, okay? So don't limit yourself when it comes to what we call that to collect or to document all those references. Okay, it doesn't have any numbers, right? I won't be able to give those numbers directly because if I give the numbers, okay, you try to find 10 or 20 references or 5 references, maybe directly, they are not going to have a lot of amount of information there. I saw before this previously, okay, didn't have 1 or 2 references, sometimes 4 references only, and they start to uh, come up with some ideas from there. And when they try to come up with their kind of ideas, suddenly, okay, the design that they produce won't be able to get a lot of effectiveness on those kind of duration. Okay? They don't have any values from there. The quality of those design also quite very look very not quite basically presentable, right? They're not quite appealing, right? Because you're not train yourself to look more kind of references. You're not train yourself to analyze a lot of references on it. How to analyze them? Go into details there, guys. Okay. Normally, when you want to develop those references, normally you're going to trace or capture from whatever what we call the imaginative kind of element that you guys have in your mind. Okay, by remembering, and then you start to draw. For me, I will go through with all these kind of details there. All right, how basically the dress, the entire going to be look like. And most of the important things when you design the characters, not about the costume only. The first thing that you need to understand about the template design that based on the character features. Okay, the structures of the character itself. The main features is all about faces. Other than faces, the body type, okay, the body structures, okay, the size, the measurement, the alignment there, okay, the postures directly of the character also really give more important role for your design kind of process. Okay, so what you can do right now, for me directly, I always start with this template design. All right, this template I get from those free 3D poses kind of models. Okay, which is I already shared with you guys in our previous exercise. So from there, I will define who actually I'm going to design. Okay, who actually I'm going to design. If I chose Kunci Santubong, for example, as a part of the title, the story behind my illustrations for assignment 4, I will start to try to search more further how to design a female character. Remember one thing, that guys, every single character based on the title that you chose have different kind of challenges. Okay, there's no easier path to right from there. Okay, no easy path to right. You need to go through a certain kind of process. Some students they start to design a bunch of character styles there, right? They based on the title, based on the characters, kind of what we call the title that they have, and suddenly they don't get basically any kind of improvement. They say that, right? And they told me directly that they don't have any kind of decisions can make from there. They cannot make any decision from there. Okay, from my kind of what we call that experience, that's basically where the design process are going to be applied. Okay, from your kind of sketches development, right? That's a part of the idea developments. You cannot assume you design 1 or 2 characters and then you can finalize them, unless you copy or trace from other people's works. And I'm not going to allow you guys to do that. That's why you have to break down basically the characters according to the references that you guys get from there, and try to redesign from your template into your rough kind of sketch process like this. Okay, this is not the final design, guys. This is basically the what we call the first write. Okay, the end write on those what we call that pages over here. Okay, is basically my not my details design, but I get my first ideas that been defined from my rough sketches over here. Okay, but this is not the final design. I can work more further from there. How many design they can develop from here? It can be more than, it can be limited, guys. All right, it can be limited. So I don't have any kind of what we call the amount of numbers there, right? The numbers, right, that can be defined as a final works, because it's all depends on how actually you're going to develop those kind of structures, and also how you're going to define basically those characters based on your own interpretations. All right, so that's why we need a lot of references in order for us to analyze them back to works. Okay, of course some people basically just trace from other people's characters and they made it into their own design based on the structure they actually copy or trace or draw, or get some guideline from there. But by the end of the day there, okay, you need to draw poses that based on the characters there. You need to define also the model turnaround that based on the character. You need to also to define some of those what we call that poses there, okay, some expression before you're going to draw one single illustration for your final assignments. So you have to work with the characters in many multiple positions and expressions, or different kind of facial structures there, different facial kind of expressions there. So that means you need to understand first about your design. Most people, they don't understand about their own creations. Then when they design the characters, they become someone else there. They become different people there, different characters there. So you have to know the whole basic structure there first. My kind of suggestions, everyone start with the template there. Prepare the template, okay? First template before you go to sketch out multiple ideas from there. Okay, that's the thing. Once basically you have go through with multiple kind of styles, and then you don't know how to decide which one basically going to be a very useful or is to work the right. You start to develop more further from there. Okay, so I'm going to start with this template that I have, which is I get from these models there. Okay, see, one. So what I'm going to do right here, okay, let's just say I'm going to copy this one there, right? Copy these images, paste right here. Okay. So this is basically my guideline, right? And this is basically my references. In order for us to redevelop all these ideas, okay, I'm using the same template right here. I'm going to use the same templates over here to redesign my creations. Okay, I saw from here, okay, I can do a lot of different kind of things from here. Of course, the element that I'm going to design were based on the references that I get. Okay, but this is not enough there, guys. For me though, okay, if you guys can find millions, billions, billions, kind of what we call that, samples, to put it into your presentation or your mood board, okay, try to analyze each one of them, it will be more fun. And of course, okay, some people basically want to draw something from the anime manga style. For me, you guys can use control on that. And some of the students, uh, they actually right have this kind of like what we call like difficulties. They don't know how to draw eyes for the characters. Right, guys. Study eyes. Okay. How is it going to start with? You can start with this one right here. You can see. Study the shapes of it. But this one is not a three-quarter view. Okay. This is not the front view. So to design the characters from from the front view, for example, like this, we start with this kind of line there. Right? Okay. These characters, if you look back again closely, they came from these shapes. Okay. This is the center point of this design. I'm going to design something like this. But it's not quite accurate there, guys. Okay, like this one. What I can do, erase this one first. But you can sketch it out first. Your ideas there, right? Huh? What I can do from here, these are going to be the lips line. Okay, like this. These are going to be the nose, right? Okay, I'm going to draw side by side like this. And I start to draw the eyes. Hopefully it's right. And this is going to be the eyebrow. Okay, where basically the ears there, okay? Maybe the ears are going to go like this. Okay, once I had this kind of guideline there, right, what I can do, okay, just keep horizontal. Okay, clear, right? How easy it could be, okay, using the modern technologies nowadays. So I can get more proper kind of centralize those kind of design. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now I start to design basically the side profile. What we call that? The left side of this character is there. The same goes okay to this part over here. And now this part there, right? Okay. Then this one. So roughly we get all this ideation of those details on the characters. Okay. Then the next thing is okay. I want to design basically the whole kind of dress. I can actually use this kind of method. Okay, normally when it comes to design, okay, right now I try to start to design the what we call that the front view, okay, of this design. Okay, front view of this design. Just now I draw roughly okay on this character's headgears, okay. So this is also some rough kind of design okay, that I try to apply right here right now. Okay, roughly there. So I'm not saying basically whatever that I do right now I'm going to be final like that. But this is the process, okay? Some people say okay just now they design a few number kind of characters, suddenly they doesn't know how to end up there, okay? For me, once you actually choose one of the character that you're going to design, start to work with the template, right? And then once you get the templates, try to get some poses there, okay? And then you can basically start to sketch some ideas from here. So from here, you can focus more further on those design that you're going to produce, okay, based on the same template. So right now, if you look back again about the hand, the arms itself, I will draw the hands a bit more like this, okay, the arms there, right, okay, the rest positions. Of course, this is basically fictional characters that came from the folk tales. So what I can do, I will try to, okay, this one right here, because they're bending the right bit, that's why they look a bit more shorter than right guys. Okay, so don't get confused from them. Okay, I will draw the rest position for this girl. Okay. By right, if you look from these positions, I make mistake just now, the right. Suddenly I draw these characters in not the same positions. What I can do, cut and wait up there, guys. Okay, what I'm going to do next right now, see there, right? Start to design, get some symmetrical kind of balance from here. Okay, and of course we can duplicate that. Okay, all right, and then leave horizontal so we can move. Okay, the thing basically, okay, this areas is too thin there, okay, you actually can improve a bit more. So that's why, okay, this technique will help you a bit more further to understand about the whole spot perspective. For me, directly, what I can do, I can go a bit more further on those design like this. Roughly. So we get this front view of these characters. Okay, there's another what we call that elements of the flowers, okay, that came from the designer, okay, the rafflesia and what we call the flowers that I made, okay, that I actually use, okay, from here. So, so you get the balance kind of characters there. Other than this one, okay, you can draw also the hairline, okay, hairline there, right? Roughly from there, and you start to draw also the accessories from here. How many basically elements, okay, it has to be similar to what you have sketched. Okay, but this is a rough design, so I can design a bit more roughly the packaging. So design process, they will take a more critical kind of what we call that attention, okay, from there. You have to pay more attention, okay, on those designs, right? So you cannot just simply draw them without referring back again to your original sketches. Even though sometimes you actually can improvise later on from here. Okay, you can improvise later on from here. So this is basically my rough sketches just now. They're right. If I want to design different kind of elements, which is represent like a Sarawak, what we call that costume there, right? I will sketch a bit more further. Okay, that's how it goes. Okay, when it comes to design those characters, only after you develop a certain amount of sketches there. Okay. These are going to be the front view. Nine, more, four, okay, some people. This is the front view. This is only a sketches, guys. Okay, you want to clean up the line, you want to improve a bit more further on those design, go ahead, guys. But what I'm trying to do right now, I want you to see how actually I prepare basically the front view back again. From the three-quarter view kind of goes. Okay, that's how actually it goes. All right. So from here we can do some kind of line later on. Okay, for examples, I just say I want to do some kind of line there, right? I can use any brushes that I want. Okay, I can do pencil, okay, depending okay, on the style that you want to use. Okay, from here, yeah. Okay. So from here, you start to basically not clean up. Okay, I think I want to do a bit more like run, view, line number one. Okay, before I'm going to finalize that. What I can do next over here, okay, I will start to add this kind of details. Okay, I start to plan, okay, how design the nose is going to be. Maybe look like this, a small shape like this there, right? And then the lips, okay. Maybe the lip shapes are going to be look like this. Everything by design, guys, okay. Okay. Sometimes when we design the neck, not too big, okay, the ears. Okay, just now when you draw, there's an earpiece there, right? So we sketch the earpiece first, right? So this is going to be the hair that flow through to the front. Okay, the design of the hair also, the type, the style of the hair also you have to design them back. Okay, there has also some earring maybe. Okay, and then this basically the head is of this putri. Even though the eyebrows I design in different way. Now the eyes, go back to the eyes, big round eyes. Okay, and then this one is basically okay. We actually can design them using basically the Sarawak pattern if you want to. Okay, and there will be more effective way there, okay, to work on that. But for me, I just designed that face. Okay, don't have any restriction there. Every single what we call the accessories that on this character's body there, okay, I try to maybe I will try to make a bit kind of what we call that function from the function there. One, two, three, four, five, six. Okay, the patterns there. Okay. One, two, three, four, five, six. Basically seven and eight. Try to work a bit more further on this particular kind of body type. The design itself, this is basically almost like a full figures kind of characters. Okay, in order to design the characters, there's a multiple type of design that you guys can choose. Okay, for examples, when it comes to design the characters, we have to define first. Okay, a type of character that you're going to use. Okay, for me directly, what I can do from here, if we go through with the character type, type and style. Right, there's a few kind of design, okay, comic characters, anime characters, chibi characters directly. Something second, there's a lot of styles there. So you have to define first which type of style that you're going to use. Okay, which are you're going to use, okay? This is a little bit more like a chibi character based on the chibi cartoon character styles. Okay, this one. Okay. This is a little bit more like a cartoon American style there, okay? So you have to define first. This is a bit more like a graphical kind of look style, okay? Very graphic kind of style here. This is more like a vector-based simplifications kind of style, okay? So there's a lot of style that you guys can choose. So you chose the right kind of styles that work. Um, as for me, there, right? Um, after I actually have done a lot of work there, okay, that define and study other people's styles there, I decide to use or to develop also my own way to work. But for you guys as a beginners, try to set yourself to design a character that based on a certain specific style. Okay, define this. Okay, for me, one of the standard versions that you guys can use to define the styles are based from chibi characters or semi-figure kind of character, semi cartoons styles. There. Okay, semi cartoons, there, right? Or maybe a full figure character. Fine style. A bit more serious. Okay, more serious kind of look. What I did right now, a bit more like full figures kind of characters that have some anime and manga kind of looks and feel, but not more. That's not too manga directly. But I try to get a bit more kind of what we call that multiple kind of inspiration and style from here. Okay, so what I can do right now, okay, I'll start to develop it more further on this design. Okay, even though the arms that I designed right now, that is basically based on designer, okay, by design itself. I'm not just simply design them without having enough kind of informations that I want to grow from there. Okay, see there, right? This is not the right. This is not basically the actual claw. It's basically some of the accessories of the as a princess. So she basically has a long hair, and there's a few number kind of accessory that I saw from this design that I used them back to show my works. This basically came from the bird kind of what we call that tail there. Huh? This came from the rafflesia, what we call it kind of flowers, elements. So that's what I say, guys. To design a characters, normally we have to go through with the same design all over again. Right? That's basically the real job for a character designer. And there's also some challenging there, right? To work. So the hair is quite long. Because okay, when it comes to design these characters, we can go through also with certain kind of elements okay, that we can find from video. Might be quite interesting. Okay? I don't see from far from here, but I assume this design, okay, she has basically some sort of like buckles there. This buckle maybe have all different kind of resources there. Okay? So from here, I designed a bit on those breasts. And then I will try to design this flitter down the right. From here, if I want to make it a bit more faster, okay, for my design, I will basically going to copy this part, copy and paste, and transfer. Okay, flip horizontal back again. Transform, flip horizontal. Okay. You get more fast results. Okay. So that's basically your task right there right now. I bet basically okay, this kind of task we're going to get will burn a bit more times. Okay, you have to pay more attention on the details before you're going to draw a side profile. All right. So I know basically okay, the process of design will be a bit more tedious and a bit kind of what we call it. You need to basically to break down all the elements, combine all those kind of structures together, okay, to get more perfection on your works. So at the moment there, guys, try to focus first on the styles that you're going to produce. Second thing is, right, okay, try to prepare the template of it, okay, based on, for example, if you look back again into our, what we call that, applications, okay, that I actually been share with you guys. Okay, I really think that okay, this post my art kind of what we call that free kind of art posts are doing a lot of good job on helping us to imagine more better for the poses. Okay, but don't just use directly to work on that. Okay, you have to be smart when it comes to work with this kind of design. For example, like this one, okay, see, great poses that I have as a woman, directives. Okay, what we can do from here, okay, side profile poses. Okay, at least your process of developing those ideas directly or your structures or poses were not too lame directly when it comes to repost back again. But don't use this kind of anatomies to define your design. You have to improvise a little bit from there. Okay, this is only a guideline to draw the poses there. And from here, okay, you can actually write screenshot these images. Okay. And then the next thing is right now you can do, you can take this one, you crop, and reuse them back. Okay. So, select all, copy, you can reuse them back. Okay. Any kind of pose that you want. Make sure you align the characters together with the poses that you want to create. And of course, from here, I think if we go through back again, it's the old design. Okay. I actually can, sometimes I will use different colors directly for my sketch. So what I can do from here, I have to remember basically the structure back again. The structures of my characters. Let's just start with this kind of shape like this. But don't use this kind of neckline. Who actually going to design the neck like this, right? Okay? Unless you draw Michelin characters. Okay? You have to remember the shapes of your characters over here. So from here, I will define back again the nose, the lips, the ears, the okay, and the earpiece. Then I'm going to start to draw basically the eyes, the connection with those eyes, the design, okay, from this profile, the right, okay, roughly sketches the right. Move back again to those designs. All right, okay. So all this ideation on designing the characters has to be came in their multiple dimensions. When we design the characters, okay, from sub profile or from one profile kind of looks going to be easy, the guys. Then when you design some things, okay, someone okay, that based on multiple positions, they have a lot of difficulties, okay, challenges there. That's why when you design something, be careful with it. Okay, don't just simply trace them. Try to understand first the whole design structure. That's how it goes. Okay. So the rapids here kind of looks, okay. Those snake ears, they were okay. All these kind of things will give more informations, okay, to guide you guys to work on your right. Right? You have to do a lot of research and sketches. Research doesn't mean that you just collect all those informations. You have to try first to solve some of the problems there. Because when it comes to design the characters from here, you have to look into a dimension directly. Normally, when we design some things, we have to use this kind of key guideline directly, what we call the alignment guideline. Okay. So from here, when you define the characters itself, you start to draw basically okay, the shapes of the head, back head. Okay, where basically the jawline are going to be held there. They can be posed there. These are going to be the neck, the skull structures from here. Okay. where basically the nose is going to be put over here, right? Head over there, right? The lips, roughly, okay, the eyes, how to draw the eyes from those side profiles. And then the eyebrow itself there, right? The alignment has to be aligned the whole thing there. Right? Then okay, the headgear from this side. How actually going to apply that? This is the ears maybe, the earpiece, the hair, right? All these kind of things will give a bit more kind of dimension on your works. Maybe the headpiece will going to be look like this a bit, okay, from each side. Say maybe because why? Because we have to figure it out first, okay, how to design them properly. Then, the roughly are going to be look like this one, okay. Not one came there. Well, side profiles. You can see the hairline. Now when it comes to body positions, okay, the body structures there. Which is basically the headpiece, what we call that shoulder, what we call it the shoulder kind of pad. Now it's time for us to draw basically the structure there. Why we sketch first all this kind of design properly. Otherwise, they're not going to be look appropriately from there. On side profile, you can draw the hands, or you don't want if you don't want to draw the hands, also fine. Draw the hair. How long basically the hair going to be. All these kind of things will give more kind of understanding of it. Okay, these are going to be the what we call it the bottom, okay? The buttocks of this breed. So when it comes to design of side profiles, okay, they have a bit more tricks, okay, and tips, tricks on work on it. Okay, so if we look back again on this design right here, okay, this is how we actually define the side profile of the characters there. Right? So it came from those front view kind of positions. We align them back using this what we call that multiple kind of vertical kind of line, okay, that define basically the horizontal kind of line that define basically those alignment, the arrangements, the measurements, and then we're going to resketch back again. This is the process of working for the character design model sheet, okay, technically, okay. So the process of workings are going to be defined like this. See that, okay? Now, hopefully you guys can figure it out, right? When you design the characters before this, based on other people's design, some of you guys thought that it is quite easy that you work to trace the right, you try and copy the right. Now the challenge is right now that you have right now, right here, the right. So when you design your own characters, you have to define also the multiple character style there, okay? And of course, okay, don't try to trick yourself to copy from other people's works. Maybe you can learn and study how basically people design those, what we call that, position of those characters. Okay? For example, if you have this model shape there, okay? Model, turn around, characters. Okay? You can study basically some of the character style from here, but it doesn't mean you have to trace. Okay? So the best way to study is to look into the alignment, okay, the style, they can do both of them. How they define basically the characters from multiple positions. Okay, what are kind of basic structure that they will use, okay, in order for them to design the character itself. Take a look over here, okay, the same thing. So all these kind of studies there, okay, all this kind of information visually normally will help you guys understand more. Okay, but the point is right now, normally when people trace from other people's characters like this, when they start to redesign the characters in multiple poses, the whole thing are going to be hairwired there, right? Okay? Why? Because they don't understand the whole structure there properly. This is also a good example that you guys can look into, okay, in order to design the characters there, okay. Just type model turnaround kind of sheets. You guys can take a look all this kind of style that you guys can produce, okay, for your kind of ideation. Okay. So I will give you guys a bit kind of information right here as a part of your way to work on those design later on, okay. But don't copy and trace. Study that first, analyze that first, and see how it can go from there. All right. So, any questions so far? Any questions so far? This is only my rough kind of style. Any questions, guys? So, how do you feel about designing characters nowadays? Is it easy? Not that easy, the guys, right? So, it's okay. So, start, okay, this is only a line figures characters, okay? So, what you can do right now, try to find, okay, maybe chibi characters are work for globally, but you have to study the anatomy at the same time, right? As for me directly, if I want to design these characters into chibi styles, I can because I already understand about the whole proposal. So what I can do right here, guys, okay, one of the tips I can give you guys. Okay, let's say I have a chibi character. Mm, chibi character template. Okay. All right. So using the templates doesn't mean everything going to be fine all the time. But I'm going to choose one of it. Please, for example, maybe like this one. Okay. Let me find a copy. Save the images. Just copy this one directly as part of my guideline. Then let me go through it. Paste right. Okay. Doesn't mean that I'm going to trace the whole thing that time, okay? I'm using as a part of my guideline, a GB style. Not Opa Gundam style, okay? But GB style. This is what I can do. Use this. I have my guideline over here. I can use. Okay. This is the reference. What I can do right now, one is a GB. Take a look at it. So the characters came from the chibi style. What I can do, I remember basically the I cannot remember basically the structure there, right? So what I can do, I just refine a bit more. Okay? I draw the template and fix. Then the lips, small lips, nose, and then the eyes there, right? Huh? And then the eyebrow here. Okay, roughly sketch. And this is going to be the ears there, right? So I'm going to draw the earpiece there. These are going to be the head ear there, right? Huh? What else there? I think there's a lot of things also that I did not actually design. Okay, but it can be applied. No worries. So this one here. Roughly a design which should be this element like this. Yeah. And then some of the big there, right? But not too big because it's a chibi style. Yeah. This. And then the hair. Her hair basically a bit more longer there, right? And now basically she has his costume itself. Okay. Okay. I provide the design, not just copy from the real photos only. Okay. Then next is going to be the some of those breasts. Okay. Even though okay, she's wearing basically some boots or sandals. Yeah. Okay. Roughly, I had this kind of design. Achieve the character style, the based on the same characters. Okay. Right. Usually, we cannot design them. It can be there. So you have to work smart at the same time to define on all the ideation that you want to create. Okay? It doesn't mean that you draw from other people's references or guideline. You cannot actually reproduce back again on your style there. Right? It can be. It's a matter of the way that you think and the way that you develop those kind of styles of your own design at the same time. You have to understand this. The whole structure of your design before you're going to create into multiple kind of style there, okay, in order for you to work on it. So understand first your own design. That's the first thing, the first rule. Don't just copy from other people. Well, that's why I always forbidden you guys to go from there. Okay. So right now, what we can do from here, I think I want to design different kind of what we call that tires, costumes, can be, all right. If I want to design also the hands over here, the arm itself, okay, she's basically have a certain kind of what we call a cane. Can use there, I think, the cane. Part of the sorceries kind of looks there, I think. It can be. That's basically the beauty of creating those kind of characters that based on the structure that you have done. Okay? All right. So any questions so far? Any questions? Any kind of inquiries, hey guys? So create a rough sketches there first, okay, before you finalize that. For me, this is one of the good way you guys can work on it. Okay, from here, because okay, using brushes, hot round pressure opacity brushes, that's the flow, usuals. Right, you guys can actually try to define the shadows line there. Okay, shadow structures have been corrected. Just to define first, okay, some of those form of this designer, roughly. For me, from this template, okay, I can do a lot of modification on my design. So from now on, those who actually have designed a lot of ideas there, okay, try to set one particular design that you guys can use. It doesn't mean you draw one particular style like this. Okay, full figures kind of characters. You cannot actually draw chibi characters later on. That's basically some modification and flexibilities that you guys can actually add from there. Okay, so it's all about creativity is there right now. Okay, to work on it. That's basically where the creativities are going to be thinking. Okay, when it comes to develop the versatilities, multiplication on power, on your design, kind of what we call the style that it is. Anything can be possible, guys. Okay, all right. So, any questions? Any inquiries? Or any obligations? It's all right there, Fang. Is it? No? Yifeng? So this week, okay, for those who actually haven't attended, okay, tomorrow and also Thursdays, I love basically to see some of those. I love to discuss with you guys with some of those ideation that you have. Okay, so don't finalize your character yet. For me, okay, I haven't finalized anything yet. Okay, I haven't finalized any characters of my characters right here. I just basically try to get more and more ideation from there. Okay, how to develop more ideas from there. Okay, the characters can be in chibi style for the final one, can be semi figures, can be cartoon style, depend. You choose how it looks. As long as you understand about your own design, you understand about how to create your own structures there first, before you're going to redesign those characters into multiple ways. And then you can color skeleton. Okay? So anyone have any questions? If you don't have questions, okay, put some thumbs up on this one. Anyone? All right, put some love on it. All right. You know, just party icon. All right, guys. I know that it's not quite easy. Though. It's not that easy. Though, okay? The process of working, but always try the process and make sure that you guys basically love the process of create the time that you create those kind of things. There. For me, there is no such thing as perfection correctly when it comes to develop your ideas. There. Okay, you have to go through with multiple kind of process of working. Just enjoy the process at first. Just believe basically the process that you've been working on right now, and try to fill up basically your kind of understanding by do a lot of creation from there. Okay, that's the thing. And then next week's after you get all those kind of what we call the sketches, information, visual experience from there, maybe you can decide. Okay, you start to decide. Okay, maybe I want to work with Simon. Okay, and of course, if you want to sketch out some of the composition, some of the arrangement for your final assignments, go ahead. Okay, it's all about how to work with the visual storytelling. Okay, how you're going to tell the story visually using the characters itself based on the story there, right? And make sure you can exaggerate a bit more on the design. As what I actually have designed right now, roughly, I try to exaggerate from the traditional kind of elements that I saw from the actual kind of design. Okay, this is the actual design. and I try to exaggerate a bit more further from there. So the design process or the design kind of styles, it can be okay. You guys can actually right exaggerate a bit more further, make it a bit more entertaining, rather than you just play with the reality kind of look and feel from there. Okay, try to get a bit more entertaining. Okay, when it comes to develop your kind of design, make it a bit more exaggerate and give it more kind of enhancements. Okay, on your kind of style that you use. So that's basically one of those best way in order for you guys to execute and expand your creativity there. Okay. One more things, if you look into okay, like these characters, for example, okay, if you look into Star Wars kind of creations, design creations, right? George Lucas and his team, okay, when they designed Queen Amidala.
Sir, your mic is off.
Sorry, there. Okay, if you look back again to Queen Amidala kind of characters there, okay, from Star Wars, they use a lot of multiple cultures kind of elements or heritage or traditional kind of what we call it costume. They combine them all together there. So this is basically one of the very interesting kind of styles when it comes to develop a character design, okay, especially the epic character design there, okay. So try to explore more further on those kind of ideations, okay, about your kind of the title that you chose, the character that you chose, and try to expand more further, okay. So the idea creations can be in multiple ways. For me, I actually right mixed up all this kind of information visually together from my experience, from my kind of understanding when it comes to design my character. So what type of style that you're going to design will not important enough, okay? As long as you guys know how to define your own template there, okay? For your character settings. And then you start to develop your ideas from there. Okay? Anything else there, guys? Any questions? Any inquiries? No? Okay, you don't have anything, Rocky? All right. So hopefully you guys, okay, have experienced something from here, learned something from here, okay? But of course, okay, as I mentioned to you guys there before, our first two assignments is all about to train your skills that back again. Okay? If you can apply in a correct way to develop to move the strokes, okay, the third assignments are going to be your tests, your testing ground. You're going to be tested back again whether you can actually apply the right kind of drawing strokes or not when it comes to develop your sketches. Okay? So that's why if you spend only 1 or 2 hours a week to develop your skill, it's not enough, there, guys. Okay, so you have to go through more. You have to enjoy the process. You have to enjoy basically to develop your skill from here, because I know that you guys have a lot of advantage right now. Okay, you have all these devices that you can, okay, unless your device are not work properly, that basically we have to make some changes with more, okay, maybe more motivation on that. We have to adjust it more, okay. But if you don't have any kind of problem with your device, so the best way for you guys to study and develop is now. Okay? So look into all these demonstrations that I made. Try to practice more further from there. Try to get used to the tools and try to control the prices correctly and use a lot of references if you seem doesn't have any kind of you have some difficulty to imagine them. Okay, right now I'm using basically reference to help you guys to imagine them. But of course, okay, we have to use also our imaginative kind of creative kind of understanding there, okay, to work on it. It doesn't mean that everything can come easy there, guys, okay? But at this stage, this is basically the time for you to develop your brain. The way that you think, the way you develop your ideas, it came from this process there. Okay? So I've been going through with you guys, okay, at these times how to generate all these ideas back again. And of course, use whatever that you can, experience that you have, because I believe that you guys have watched anime, manga, cartoon more than me at your age. So use all this kind of information visually in order for you guys to develop your practice. Okay? All right. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. I'll see you guys. Okay. Someone with you guys tomorrow. All the best. Good luck. And enjoy the process at the same time. Don't give up yourself from there. And try to work on that. And I will see you guys again. Okay. If you guys can develop more ideas and show me tomorrow, go ahead. Okay. I would love to see. And of course, prepare first on your mood board. And please submit your works progressively in Behance and an update in those Google Classrooms. All right. So, thank you very much. Have a good night. Have a good evenings. Take a rest, breathe. Just watch a bit more on those anime or the movies references that I've been giving to you guys, or do more kind of what we call the research from there before you go to sleep, and start to do something like that. Don't think too much. Okay? Start to do something, make some mistakes, get a feel how to creating those kind of ideas there, okay? And then see how it can go from there. All right. So thank you very much. Have a good day, and see you guys around there, okay? Bye bye. Welcome there. Okay, welcome there.